Pyramid thinking is creating, it's an approach for creating a structured logic which enables one human being to communicate effectively with another human being. When you communicate with people, you want them to say yes to the ideas that you're putting forward. And the way the human brain works, it is very helpful to, one, make sure you ask yourself all the right questions to really clarify your thoughts. And then two, to put those thoughts in a logic structure which the human brain, and in particular working memory, which has got some limitations, can easily assimilate. And what pyramid thinking does, it allows you to do that. You create your logic on a one-page template in PowerPoint, and you use that for structuring your presentation, your report, your proposal, or even if you've got an important email, we would use it for that. But it's like chess, very simple to learn the rules for all the pieces, but quite tricky to become a grandmaster. It's not new. It's well tried and tested and established in the marketplace now. But it came in the mid-80s. A lady called Barbara Minto was the first lady partner in McKinsey's. And she was asked to find out why some of their proposals sold and some didn't, why some of their recommendations stuck and some didn't. And so she looked at the teams who were involved in the different projects. It wasn't that the quality of the teams that was a differentiator. So she then looked at, were all the salient points, were all the important points made in the documents? And that's when it got surprising, because she found that wasn't a structural differentiator between those arguments that were bought into and those that weren't. And what she discovered was that those arguments that were put in a nested hierarchy of logic, where you started with the one idea, not the 3 or 5 or 9 great things you wanted to communicate, the one idea, followed by the 3 to 5 reasons why that was true, and then the 3 to 5 pieces of evidence why each reason is true. Those style of documents had a much higher chance of convincing their audience than others. And she captured that in a book called The Pyramid Principle, which has been a best business seller for 40 years or so. And she started up a training business. At the turn of the millennium, I joined PA Consulting in their global energy practice. And there, everybody from the chairman down to the lowest analyst had to go through what they called their top-down thinking course. And I learned it and came out and thought, why didn't I learn this 25 years ago? It's just would have made my life so much simpler, so much easier. As I said, it's how one human being can communicate effectively with another human being. It's a life skill. I worked just before the pandemic for about 5, 6, 7 years for the Energy Saving Trust, and worked very closely with University College London, combining the intellectual assets of both parties to provide a modeling capability which no one else could match. Over that period, we had the opportunity to bid for various projects to people like National Grid, Western Power Distribution, Innovate UK. And I said, well, as I've pulled this joint venture together, I'm happy to lead the bids, but I think we maximize our chance of winning by using pyramid thinking. And over the time I was doing that, which was about 7 years, we bid for 7 projects and we won 6 of them. And you try and find me organizations that have got win rates of 6 out of 7. Some of that obviously came from the intellectual assets of the two parties, but some of it came from the fact that we just used that approach and it was very clear to the other side what we had to offer. You can learn the rules in a day. The way we do it is we teach the theory in a day and people work through a case study. The next day, we get them to work on their own communication. So they put the theory into practice. But after that, it's then just putting it into practice. And like any new skill, the first time you do it, it may take you an hour. The next time you do it, it takes you 50 minutes. The next time it's 40 minutes, and then it becomes routine. they go to www.enstra.com, and we have a full pages on pyramid thinking and different ways that they can learn it. Or else I would just suggest go and do a Google search on Pyramid Thinking Plus. It's worth talking about. There's a difference between pyramid thinking and pyramid thinking plus. Pyramid thinking is about the structure of logics. The plus is a focus on what the benefits are to your audience, which comes out of the selling theory that you've got in spin selling and various other books that have been written, and many other books that have been written over on the subject over many years. You have this thing in pyramid thinking called the governing thought, which is the one idea that you want to convince your audience of, and it's just one thought. And then the 3 to 5 reasons why that's true is called your key line. And if you're in a business development situation, which is the sweet spot for pyramid thinking, then those elements of the key line should all be benefits, because we all have a tendency that we talk about the features of our product or service rather than what that brings to the person who's going to be buying that product or service. Pyramid thinking forces you to do that. It just forces you to ask the right questions.